it was a new documentary that follows ski mountaineers Christina, Lusti, and Jim Morrison as they attempt the first ever descent of the Great Trango Tower in northern Pakistan. And on May 9th, 2024, the team did successfully climb and skied the 20,000-foot west face of Great Trango Tower, navigating extreme weather and physical risk, and of course, the weight of high altitude decision making. And with me, Jim and Christina, it's so great to have you here. I was telling you, I watched the trailer, was just amazed by what you did. And if you could just set the stage, this was, of course, one of the most difficult physical feats. I think I read only 5 people had done this before. So what was it just physically that made this challenging?
Well, Trango Towers are these iconic granite towers in deep in the Karakoram Mountains in Pakistan. They've traditionally been proving grounds for some of the world's elite alpinists, climbing these big granite walls up to the top of these just really beautiful, sharp granite mountains. And Christina and I figured out that there was perhaps a way to ski back down from the Great Trango Tower. So I think the hardest part of this whole thing was putting together an expedition and getting over to this part of the world and finding the people to help get us into the mountains and build a team around climbing up to the top of the Great Trango Tower. Has been climbed by lots of people over many, many years. It was first summited I think in 1977. And we were just the very first people to ski down it. We were the first people to even try to ski down it, I think, or dream it up. I don't think anyone had even thought about it before.
You mentioned the logistics of just, getting there. I mean, it took 2 years, right, to plan this. And what are the logistics of that? Just getting there, preparing for it. What do you have to take? How do you make sure you're mentally and physically prepared for all kinds of unforeseen circumstances?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, first off, to travel to Pakistan, you have to fill out an extensive permit visa application, which both years that we went kind of gave our whole team troubles and issues. And then it's finding a really good local team to help facilitate all the logistics on the ground, which we had a lot of amazing Pakistani support while we were there. Like Jim mentioned, no one had ever gone skiing in the Trango Towers. So we talked to a lot of alpinists about their climbing experience, and it was an educated guess of when we thought would be the best time to go and ski in the area. And it really was a lot of research, a lot of dedicated time planning logistics. And it took a whole team of us to figure it out to eventually be successful on May 9th.
Yeah. And Jim, I understand this was kind of done in honor of someone special to you. Do you want to share that with us?
Yeah, I lost my partner, Hillary Nelson, skiing in a mountain in Nepal. And this was the first expedition I had been on after losing Hillary. And so I was just in a unique place in life, being back in the mountains without her for the first time, and spent a couple years trying to get to the top of this mountain, which proved to be really difficult for us. It probably should have been something we could have done the first year, but for various reasons, we didn't make it there I think it took us 68 days to get to the top, being in base camp. And it was a real emotional moment for me, and I think for our whole team, and really a special ski back down.
Okay. I mean, I only imagine, how special that must have been. And you said 68 days. So, describe what that's like. Like, wait, why did it take that long? How did you kind of function day to day and get through all of that?
Go for it.
Well, we had a really nice base camp at about 14,000 feet up under these huge granite towers. And we had a cook staff there and a dining tent, and we each were sort of living in our own individual tents. It would often snow, and we'd go through big storms, be kind of stuck in our tents for a period of days. We played a lot of cards and games and just passed a lot of time watching things on our iPads and just waited for the right weather window. And then we had to contend with the whole team got really sick a couple of times with different waterborne GI issues. And then we had avalanches to contend with. These mountains are these tall granite faces, and there's snow and ice stuck to them, and all that snow and ice is being pulled down by gravity. So there's lots of objective hazards that we had to contend with to safely get up. And it just, with our calculated risk profile, we took a long time before we felt like the time was right.
Oh, I can only imagine the 9 million things that you have to think about and prepare for and be aware of. And of course, physical athleticism this takes, but also some mental toughness, some decisions. Like, how do you prepare for that? What kind of mental lessons did you learn? And how did you navigate all of the unexpected psychological issues that come with this?
Yeah, I think it can be a pretty interesting process to work through, especially when you travel to the other side of the world. You have one objective, one dream, one goal that you're trying to achieve, but to really trust your process and decision making and take all of what you've learned in the mountains over a lifetime of mastering certain skills and calculating risk and deciding all the subtle little decisions that you make that are essentially life and death decisions, and just trusting the process, trusting your instinct, trusting your teammates that you're there with and the process. And, we did that over 2 attempts. And at the end, I think it really made sense. Like the day that we summited and skied back down, it was the most magical experience. We skied in beautiful snow conditions on the perfect day. And we were rewarded with just trusting each other, trusting the process, and, enjoying it through the whole time, the whole 2-year expedition. So it was a magical experience. When we finally got to link turns off the summit of the Trango Tower, was magic.
What did you do when you got down to the bottom of the mountain? What was your reaction? How did you all greet each other?
I think we were, hit by this exhaustion first because it was a huge climb and a huge push, but just this overall very proud of the whole team and just wanting to soak up every bit of the day so that you don't forget it. Yeah.
Sure. And at least by the trailer, it looks beautifully shot and done and just shows the amazing landscape of the area. And what technically did it take? And was there a crew and they went with you? And how did that work in terms of just the shooting of it all?
Yeah, there's a fantastic crew of athletes and cinematographers that are there in this really wild place that trek in and live at the same altitude as us and go partway up the mountain to our high camp on the mountain. And they're filming us the whole time, both with cameras and drones. And our team did an exceptional job of really beautiful cinematography and beautiful shots in a place where I don't think that these type of shots have ever been so dramatic and awe-inspiring. I think we'll get a great look into what the Karakoram is like and how sharp and jagged and dramatic these mountains are. They're like no other mountain range in the world. And they did a really beautiful job of putting this together.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, it really makes you respect nature and what was created there. So finally, where can people watch Trango?
Well, on February 13th, it's going to be on Dock Plus, so they can download an app, hopefully on their big TV or a big screen, and watch it on Dock Plus. And in beyond that, it'll be on some other streaming platforms coming out after that.
Okay, well, we'll make sure to watch the whole thing and get it out there for you. So congratulations on this, and thank you so much for coming and sharing your story.